Right, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. A very exciting one, at least it is for me anyway. For the longest time now I have said that I want to learn to weld. I've talked about it. I never followed through up until this point, but that is about to change today. If you happen to watch the last video on my Mondeo, you would have seen in that video, I gave you a quick glimpse at a new toy I've got to play around with. That's going to bring some new content to the channel, and it's also going to allow me to learn some new skills, which is very exciting. Before we get started, I want to give a massive shout out to Sealey, the tool company. If it wasn't for them, this video would not be possible. I would not be able to make this. They're the ones that hooked me up with this piece of kit. I'm forever grateful for them for jumping on board and helping me out. So here it is. Like I said, I showed this very briefly in the last video. I gave you a quick look at the box, but today we're going to be getting this unboxed, getting it all set up, and maybe, just maybe, having a little play with it at the end if we have enough time. Now, like with many things, there's lots of conflicting opinions when it comes to the right welder to have, the right gas to use. People say that you should use this welder, no, you should use this one's better, yada yada yada. I went with the little knowledge that I have. I actually picked up this 150 amp professional MIG welder from Sealey. It is their Supermig series, so the model number is Supermig 150. If you want to check out on their website, or they sell them in various other places too. They have a wide range of lots of different machines, ranging from really basic, nice cheap machines to really expensive, high quality professional machines. This one sort of sits lower on the spectrum. It retails for around anywhere between $350 to $450, depending on where you look. I think I'm right in saying that this is a gas/gasless welder, so you can use it either way. I picked this one because it can use gas, and that's what I'm going to be using. I've got my gas bottles over there, and like I said, from what research I did, this one is going to be adequate for what I need it for. I'm not going to be looking into going to welding professionally. This is at least going to get me started on my journey into welding, which is very exciting. So without further ado, I think that's enough talking. Let's get this thing on the floor, get it unboxed, get it all set up, and we'll have a closer look at the machine and everything that it can do. Okay, so straight off the bat we have got what looks like instructions. I'm going to be reading through this because welders can be dangerous pieces of kit if you don't use them right, or if you don't set them up properly. So I am going to have a quick read through this just to make sure that I'm clued up on how to get this thing properly set up. We don't want any accidents or anything like that. It's always a smart move when you're using a big piece of machinery. We've then got a piece of polished styrene, which I assume that's actually a bigger machine than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller than that, judging by the welder that I've already got, my flux core, little cheap one. That's pretty cool. We've then got a box here, which I don't know what's inside that. I assume brackets and stuff. Right, I think I'm going to put the camera down to lift this thing out. See what I mean? That's quite a hefty old machine, that is. The gun is already attached. This is the actual welding gun itself. It's nice. We've got our ground clamp here, and then it looks like we've got to put our own plug on. Let's just get this wrapping off it. I really am surprised at the size of it. It's a big old machine. I think we can look in the side as well. That's where the wire is going to go, the welding wire. Let's take a look what's in this box over here. Right, so in that little brown box we have got the wheels, so we can roll it around. The gas regulator, which is obviously going to go on top of our gas bottle to regulate the gas, quite obviously. We've got a small spool of wire. I did buy one just in case, so I've got a spare one now, but it does come with a small one just there. A metal bar, whatever that's for. A couple of pieces for the handle, a bracket, a hose, a couple of other brackets, and then some screws and a chain. I think that's to hold the gas bottle to the machine. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna read the instructions, see what all this stuff does, and we get it all installed onto the welder. So I've currently got the welder pretty much like on jack stands at the moment. I've just slid a box under there because I'm trying to put the wheels on, and you put these little like little tabs. Yeah, you put them through a slit in there, like so, and then you get a loop comes out the bottom there, and that's where this metal bar goes through. This is like our wheel axle essentially. So I'm going to put that through there, and then we can slide a wheel on, and then washer and split pin. Okay, so far so good. Assembly has been easy. The instructions are really good. They talk you through how to do all the bits and pieces. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now is the time when the gas is going to be installed. So I've got everything on it to maneuver it about. So the wheels are on, the front stand thing is on so I can move it around. I've put this plate on which the gas leans against, and this chain is there because that's what holds the gas bottle on so it doesn't fall off. So I'll get that fitted properly once the gas canister is on there. And that is the next job. So I went with, like I said, there's lots of different choices. You can have full argon, full CO2, or a mix of the two. Well, there's only really 3 choices, I guess. But after speaking to some people, some experienced welders and stuff, people were telling me to go with an argon CO2 mix. So this is a 80% argon, 20% carbon dioxide. And I picked up this larger cylinder because they usually come in these smaller ones. So you can see the size. This is twice the size of this. I think this is 110 litres of gas or something like that, and this one is 220, so this one's twice the size. It wasn't much more than what one of these was, so I feel I go with this. I did buy a Sealey one just as a backup in case this one runs out, but for now this is the shielding gas we're going to use. I'm going to get this installed onto the machine. If I do this one hand, it basically just sits on there like so, and then this chain will tighten up and it'll just go around the bottle just to hold it on there. I've got the regulator which came with the welder. So I've got the gas regulator which will sit on top of the bottle, just like a little brass fitting thing, so that'll sit on there. Hose will come off it, and then the hose goes in to this little bung thing on here, and then the gas gets fed through and then into the gun, and then obviously when you weld it comes out of the gun. Right, I've come across the first little stepping stone hurdle that I'm a little bit confused about. I was about to fit the regulator to the gas bottle, and this is what comes inside. So you get the regulator itself, you can open and close the gas. Okay, fine. On the bottom there's a rather large threaded fitting which looks like it's for an industrial bottle, which is fine because most people do have industrial bottles. If you look at the size of the thread on one of these refillables, it's tiny, like teeny tiny, and then you look at the size of that, it looks way too big. So it turns out that I've quite obviously got the wrong regulator for the bottle that I need. This is for like a bigger, more industrial bottle. I need a completely different regulator for what I'm using for the smaller bottles. So I'm going to go ahead and source one of them. I'm also going to source myself a plug so that I can actually plug the machine into the wall. It didn't come with one of them, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. I don't think chucking in a couple of quid plug would do any harm. So that's my only criticism so far, is lack of plug. But I'm really happy with it. As you can see, it's pretty much all together down there. Like I said, I'm going to get hold of the last little components that I need. Once I've got them, I'll carry on with the build. Right, so it's been a couple of days and I have now got what I assume to be everything I need to get this welder up and running. And there was a couple of bits that I realised I didn't have when I was putting this thing together. I've now ordered them, they've arrived, so I'm going to carry on getting this thing put together. I realised it didn't come with a plug, which is why I have this, and then I also realised that I didn't have the correct regulator for the gas bottle that I'm using. I'm using just a small little like hobby throwaway gas bottle, and standard this welder comes with a regulator that you use for a larger bottle, which I will get in the future, so I will be using it at some point. But for now I needed a regulator for this bottle, and that is where this thing comes in. I picked this up on eBay. I wanted a regulator that had the little dial on so that I wasn't using too much gas. You can get them without, but I wanted one with. This was the first one to pop up on eBay, and lo and behold, it's a Sealey one. It's the only one as well that comes with a gauge. All the others on eBay that I saw came without a gauge like this one here. So I want one with a gauge, like I said, so I've got that. Got a plug. This is a Sealey heavy duty plug. This is made for things like this. It's a rubber plug. Again, once I searched on Amazon for, I literally just written plug, and this was the first one to pop up. So lo and behold, we've gone completely Sealey. This is the hose we're using to hook up the gas. So let's go ahead and get these bits put on that. Right, so this is the plug we've got. Like I said, it's a rubber one, so it should be good for this. It's a 13 amp plug, and that's what we're going to be using. Open her up. Right, this should open up now. You can see our insides. These plugs, if you've never wired a plug before, they're pretty easy. So on pretty much all different appliances, the wiring will be the same. So you have a yellow and green on this side, got a brown, and then you've got a blue. Now the plug has 3 different places for them. There's one there, one there, one there. The earth always goes at the top, so the yellow and green is going to go to this pin at the top here. The brown is going to go to the one where the fuse is. So this here is the fuse. So that's the live. The brown's going to go that side, and the blue one, which is the neutral, is going to go to this pin right here. So I'm going to get this wired in. I need to shorten this a little bit because that's a little bit long. It's going to be sitting in there like that. So they don't need to be anywhere. They don't need to be anywhere near that long. So I'm going to chop these down and get this fitted in there. Right, that's the plug wired up. This video is not meant to be like a tutorial on how to wire a plug, but if you want to know, there's plenty of videos online on how to do it, but that's essentially how it goes, just in case you want to know. So I just need to stick the back on this, and that's job done. Right, time for the regulator. This is for the small bottles, so if you don't use the big bottles of gas, this is what you need. Tiny little one, but as you see, it's got the gauge on it, which is exactly what I wanted. There you go. It's got the little valve on top, and then that's where the gas comes out there. They give you an adapter on this as well, so that you can run that in there, and you can use the hose that you get with the welder. You don't need a smaller hose, you can actually fit that straight on and straight up to the welder, which is very handy. Pull this up here, take our cap off, and then I think we just have to screw this on. I don't think we need any, there's a seal inside there, so we don't need any tape or anything. Just make sure the valve's closed actually. Yeah, fully closed. A little bit of a gas escaped, but it's on there now. Right, last job is welding wire. As you can see, I've opened up the side of the machine, and it's going to sit on this spool right here, and then this little contraption on this side. Give you a better look. So this is where it's going to sit. You take this off, put the spool on there, and this is basically the wire feeder. You feed the wire through this little thing here, it'll go through the thing all the way to the tip, and then it'll obviously come out at that end. Go ahead and remove this. Right, now that I've got the wire in the actual machine, I need to feed the wire through the gun, which means plugging the machine in for the first time, making sure that my plug doesn't explode. And then we can turn it on, feed the wire through, and get out the end of the gun, because then we know it's fed all the way through then. I think you have to take the tip off for that, and also the little tip inside. I think you have to remove both of those before you get the wire through. Right, let's do this. Let's plug her in. Let's see what happens. Alright, plug is in. We're on. Got to switch the machine on. Ooh. We have power. That's a good sign. Alright, now if I put on this trigger, the wire should feed through all the way to the trigger, is the theory. No, it's not doing it. Silly me, that's my mistake. I had the wire speed on the front of the machine set on 0, so that's why it wasn't moving. If you see now, if I pull the trigger, we have moving wire. I'm just going to wait now until it comes out at the end of this. Wait for it. Wait for it. I feel it. There we go. Right, there's our wire. There's our tip back on. The wire sticking out. Just in case any of you are curious, you see these little holes around the bottom here? That's where the gas is going to come out. So when you've got the little silver piece on the top, the gas will come out those little holes, goes down, and that's what creates the shield around the wire. It's pretty cool. Right, so I think that we are there. I think we're completely set up. I just made sure that my tension on the wire on this little thing is good enough. I tightened down this little screw so that it's pinching the wire just enough that I can stop it with my finger when it comes out of the gun. If you want to know how to set one of these up in more detail, there's lots of videos on YouTube on how to do it. I just want to show you briefly how I've set this one up. So very happy with all that now inside. We can close that down, and I'm pretty sure that is it. We are ready to go. Unfortunately though, you lot are going to have to wait until the next video to see me get this thing out and get some practice in. Sorry to be a little bit of a tease. Today I wanted to focus on just getting the machine put together. It's now ready to go. I can start welding ASAP. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Again, before I end, I just want to give a massive thank you to Sealey for making this possible. This video would not be happening if it wasn't for them. As a way of saying thank you, I would really appreciate as many of you as possible to go over to their Instagram and on their latest post, whichever one it is, just tell them thank you from me and thank you from the channel. They really have hooked me up big time and I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to get yourself a Sealey welder, go on the website and you can pick through various different models, whatever fits your needs. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.